Hello and welcome to the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. Today is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. So our stock closed at about 93 cents a share, which obviously is not really in the ballpark range that we want the stock to be in. But this is kind of the trading range we appear to be in. I did notice that volume, I think, was close to 1.5 million shares. Let me just double check that. Yeah, about 1.5 million shares traded, which really isn't bad at all. What's really exciting is that we did get several filings. There was an 8K filing. There were several other regulatory filings that all have to do with the private placement that took place, or at least that was, sort of spoken about last week. And yeah, it's great. I mean, this is really great news for the company. And yeah, I think a lot of people I noticed were kind of excited by the fact that, hey, the stock's actually trading beneath where, Greg acquired shares as a result of this private placement. So, the logic being, right, by some, hey, look, if our CEO and co-chairman, right, has such faith in the company that shares were bought at a price that's higher than what it's trading at now, well, gosh, I mean, it must really be a screaming buy at 93 cents a share, or at least so the logic goes. Obviously, there are a lot of individuals, myself included, right, who have bought chunks of shares at prices higher than where we're at right now. So from my perspective, I think we're kind of in a new modality now where anything under a dollar, from my perspective at least, probably represents a buy. I know there was a time late, I think it was late last year, early this year, where I kept saying, hey, any stock price of ours, right, that's under 50 cents a share is just, like a really, really, I think, strong buy signal. I don't know, don't want to jinx anything, don't know that we're going to retrace back to 50 cents a share. We might, never say never, let's not jinx anything. But I do sense at this juncture, absent something fairly cataclysmic, which I'm not anticipating happening, I don't think we're going to go back to 50 cents a share. So I think the new question mark here is, okay, below a dollar, somewhere in that 80 to 90 to a dollar a share cent range, or above that, right? And I think right now at 93 some odd cents a share, I think this, from my perspective, is probably a pretty interesting entry point if somebody has been looking at Stronghold Digital Mining saying, hey, when do I get into this thing? I'm excited about it. Maybe I want a dollar cost average a little bit, right? Because maybe I do have shares at a much higher price. Again, this is not really something for me to tell you what to do. It's just I'm observing that from my perspective, if this were a conversation going on in my own mind, I'd probably be leaning towards thinking, hey, I think I'd prefer to nibble while it's around, say, 93 cents a share versus waiting to see, what happens in the future, because the future may very well result in a much higher stock price. The fact that we're trading as low as we are trading, I don't know that that's really sustainable. I mean, there's just so much that to me just doesn't make sense about our current valuation. But you know what, though? This is what the market has decided our value should be. I do think there's an argument to be made that because we do remain a fairly obscure small company, that, again, we don't really, if anything, we don't command a premium, but we actually command something of a deficit, or like a negative premium, because we're just not that well known. I think somebody mentioned on Twitter, it would be great if we as a company, right, had more PR, right, like more stuff like in the news and the media. And yeah, I mean, I think that would be great as well. By the same token, I'm very sensitive to the fact that we really do want to remain focused on our operations as well. We want to make sure that we're running both Scrubgrass and Panther Creek to the best of their potential, that we're either idling the plants to import some power from the PJM grid, which at times can represent a very good value for us. Or alternatively, hey, we're generating our own electricity. Let's just kind of err on the side of a higher number here, and let's just assume we're creating our electricity for a net cost of power of $50 a megawatt hour. We're still able to turn that around and sell that electricity essentially to ourselves, right? I mean, that's a convoluted way of saying it. We're just going to use our own electricity to basically power our data centers, which in turn will be mining Bitcoin. And that's a much more lucrative business endeavor many, many times throughout the day, given grid pricing dynamics at the present time. So that's where we're at right now. I'm incredibly encouraged by the fact that we do have some pretty good trading volume. I'm really encouraged by the fact that from an operational perspective, I think things are going really well. And I'm especially encouraged by the fact that we're actually making investments at this point to grow our top line revenue, right? We're going to get those ultra efficient Bitcoin mining machines set up probably sometime in the middle of May, or at least that seems to be what I'm hearing. And so I'll make some adjustments to the dashboard in mid-May. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how this all unfolds. I'm also mindful of the fact that yes, our stock price continues to trade below a minimum bid price of $1 per share, which as per NASDAQ listing requirements, we need to come into compliance with that. Again, there's the opportunity to potentially get an extension from NASDAQ or to alternatively do a reverse stock split, which again, I am going to devote an entire video to that topic. But for right now, let's just stay positive. Let's stay committed, right, to seeing this through. Let's be great. And yeah, something's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, one way or the other. So I'm excited to see how this story unfolds, and I hope you are as well. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.